Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to this Relationship Thursday, where basically we deal with some topic having to do with any kind of relationships, not just male or female relationships. So, however, today we are on the 90-Day Destiny Transformation series, and we are on number 67. Can you believe that? Number 67. So if you haven't already subscribed, please take a moment to subscribe, okay? Remember to share, like, and comment as well. Okay, so for those of you who do not know, my name is Sheila Rollins, and I am the founder of H.U.L.A Ministries Entertainment and Associates Inc. And on this YouTube, we are Overcomers Anonymous, where we support anyone desiring to overcome anything. And we do it with Jesus Christ being our higher power and what he's accomplished for us on the cross. Therefore, our wholeness, our completeness, our cleanliness, our forgiveness, the things that we thought were impossible becomes possible with Jesus Christ being a higher power. So as promised, I have Choice here with us again today. And for those of you who do not know him, check out the video where I did an introduction. So we're not a couple, we're friends. We don't know whether or not we will be a couple or a mate to one another, and that this relationship or this friendship will result in marriage. However, the title of this series, which is just on Thursdays for right now, is Mr. and Mrs. Right, or Mr. and Mrs. Right Now. And so I thought, well, last week I told you that we will be talking this week about some of the problems that we've had and basically how we've settled it. Okay, check out my other YouTube, which is The Pursuit to Christ, and a playlist on that one, and also this YouTube. Okay, so there's a lot for you. Enjoy it. And so we decided upon two things each. And so he has two things that maybe that happened as a result of something that he did. And I have two things that happened as a result of something I did. So we're going to talk about exactly what those things were, what happened initially, and basically how we settled it. So you know that we do what we do because of Jesus Christ being a higher power. But however, in order for us to get all that he's offering, we must be obedient to his word. And I encourage the King James Version because it's what he encouraged me. And also the Ten Commandments, where he also admonishes us to keep the seventh-day Sabbath. These things are binding on us for eternal life. The arrow next to the title is the description. You can check out all that information there. So you ready? Okay. So I think this is important because a lot of what we experience has a lot to do with communication and basically how different males and females communicate with one another. And so I like to think of it as like the battle of the sexes, okay? And in our case, it's not a battle because we don't have battles. We look like, or at least I look at things that when they happen, it's to make things better. It's to give us a better understanding of one another, and help us to grow deeper together in our friendship with one another and how to please one another. So Choice, you want to start or you want me to start? It's up to you. You want me to start?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm sorry about the lighting today, guys. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. So one of the things that I did, Choice had come to my house unannounced, and he was basically just outside and just sitting in his car. And when I looked out or saw him or he called me, he told me where he was, I had a flashback. And so in my flashback, I was thinking like, he's coming to check on me. He doesn't think that I'm a loyal kind of person, but, he's checking on me. But really, what were you doing? Kind of speak up.
I was not checking on you. I was more so like missing you, and I wanted to see you. And I do trust you, but I have also was bored of being by myself, and I wanted to see you.
Okay. And also, you had talked also about like you wanted some peace. Remember?
Yes, I needed to have me some peace where I was at, and the only way I was going to get the peace was coming down there to see the lady of faith.
Yeah. And so basically, it's like, a lot of times people ask him, for rides, to take him on errands and stuff like that. And so this particular day, he was tired and he just wanted some peace, which, I mean, come on, he's human. And so he was basically coming in my area where I live because there's nobody around that would normally ask him for a ride. But when I looked out, I had a flashback, okay? Of like somebody checking up on me, whatever, and I just totally took it the wrong way. So there you have the situation. Comment down below just how you think that we should have handled it, okay? And we'll tell you how we handled it. So basically, what was I gonna say? I was thinking like, number one, I'm not really the kind of person that accepts unannounced calls or unannounced visits from a man. I kind of looked at it as like disrespectful, like right away. And so the thing that I'm learning is to not be so rigid, and to allow a man to be human. And so one of the things that I did in times past was to put a man so high up on a pedestal, he was like a god almost. And so if he failed me, I would get really, really, really upset. And my mouth is not nice when I'm upset, but that's what would happen. And so basically, what I did was, he explained, and like he already said, you what?
I needed some peace. I needed to get away from certain elements.
Right. And so basically it was like a conversation. We had a conversation about it. I never told him because I never thought about it until just now. Sometimes when you talk about situations, different information comes out. And so for me, I didn't tell him that I experienced it as disrespect when a man would come to my house unannounced, barring like an emergency or something like that. But it was basically a conversation and everything, and then I was just totally okay with it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So basically just to have a conversation about it. And the important thing about that is to accept what the person says and not look at, like the person is lying or something like that. To just accept it, And so, okay, so I'm going to tell one of mine now. That was one of yours, right? That was one of
Yeah.
yours. Okay. So one of my things that I had did, um, okay, so I think I'm getting mixed up. Oh, that was one of mine. That was one of mine because that's when you had came. Um, no. Okay, I did get mixed up. That was one that I had totally. Okay, I do got it down here. All right, that was one of mine. That was one of mine. So we can do one of yours. That was one of mine because I went off. I blew things out of proportion, and I was wrong. So I had to really apologize and everything. So okay, so that one was one of mine. So one of yours. Which one you want to do? You got two here. You got the one where I was saying that you were belittling me, and then you got the backyard situation. Which one you want to deal with?
I'd rather do backyard.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. And I'll jump into. We can jump in at any time on.
Well, actually, I was.
This is number two.
Yeah,
Well, number one
okay.
for choice. The other one was mine. This is
Right.
one of the ones that he did something that was offensive. But go ahead.
Well, actually, I wanted to help her to do something in the yard
Cut the grass.
and to cut the grass, and I didn't agree the way she wanted me to cut it. But I wanted to do it my way. But I had to realize sometimes.
And so basically, for me, he wanted to do it his way. But for me, I had it in my mind. I knew that it was about 8 o'clock in the morning. I knew at by 9 o'clock in the morning the sun was going to be really hot in the yard, and it wasn't going to be no shade. And we had already exercised and everything, and I just felt like I wanted him to help me to get it done quickly. Well, actually, he offered to help, to get it done quickly and hurry up and get out of the sun before, get out of the yard before the sun got really hot back there. So I have like a method that I do to try to beat the sun, basically. And that is basically like all around the perimeters of the yard. I have like chairs and stuff and plants and stuff like that. And so what I usually do is take all of that and put it in the middle of the yard. Then I usually, cut the grass, rake up the grass, and put all the furniture back. And then I do the center. And usually in the alleyway, it's usually always shade back there. So that's not a problem to try to beat the sun. But see, the thing about it, where it caused the problem is that a lack of communication on my part. Because I didn't communicate with him like I was trying to beat the sun. And the method that I use to try to beat the sun, to not be in the yard when it's all hot and stuff like that. Did you have a comment?
I don't want to comment. Sometimes you have to listen, and I wanted to do it my way,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
my way was not the best way.
Okay. And so basically, for me, like I said, I didn't communicate it. And so I was starting to feel hurt. And I think that, I don't know, how did you feel? The way
I
I was like trying to tell you how I wanted it, how did it make you feel?
Well, actually, I felt as though that my problems that I didn't want to listen. I did not want to listen, but sometimes you have to listen to the other person and have a kind of understanding how to do things the proper way.
Hmm. Well, I think that, yeah, and you're right. And I think that I wanted to be careful. Okay, my feelings was hurt because in my mind, I was trying to protect him in a one sense, like to not be in the sun. And it's my house. I've been there for almost 30 years. And I know that a certain time in the summer, the sun comes out in that yard and it's pretty hot. And so I knew that we only had like about an hour to get it done and to get out, you know. And so, like to put myself in his place, I didn't want to make him feel emasculated, like he was less than a man or that he didn't know how to do anything. But in my mind, I think that had I communicated better, and also too, I felt like because this was the first time that he was in my yard, and also that, he was going to help me, he really wanted to do it and me not do it. But I wanted to be there to do it because I was trying to get us out of the yard before it got really, really hot. And like I said, we had already been outside a while exercising and walking and all that. And so basically, check out my food fundraisers, y'all. They're all finger licking good, reasonably priced, vegan meat alternatives and sides, non-dairy ice cream, and other desserts. Veganism has a good rep. It can help reverse diseases, it can prevent diseases, and help us to hold on to those youth genes, and also help with longevity. And so I didn't want to in any kind of way like make him feel less than a man. But in the same respect, I was looking at it like on any job that you do for another person, especially like your first time, you get training for that job, and then after that, as long as you get to the same end, like you get the job done, it doesn't matter like which angle that you tackle it. But under the circumstances, dealing with time, dealing with the sun, the fact that we're older now, and for us to be out there in all that heat and everything, I was trying to prevent all of that. So, okay, so what happened? What happened as a result of this clash that we had?
Well, we communicated with each other and we agreed to not disagree. And it turned out very well.
Well, at first, before all of that, we clashed bad. My feelings was hurt, and I didn't really want to talk. But the little bit that I was saying, he was denying everything. He was like, I was like, okay, that's disrespectful. He was like, well, I don't think so. I don't think it's disrespectful. I said, well, whether you think so or not, I'm the one that's experiencing. So it's what I think is happening to me. And so the thing that I like about it, though, is that he was humble enough to apologize. God worked on his heart, and he apologized and basically said that I was right. And not that I was looking to be right or anything. I just wanted to be acknowledged that, and I wanted him to see that I wasn't trying to like put him down as a man and say he can't do things. I wasn't trying to do that at all. I was just really trying to get out the yard and let him see how I try to do it in a quick way to beat the sun. Now, on the days where I have a long time and all that kind of stuff, okay. But on that particular day, on a day where I got like an hour, I ain't trying to do all of that. So, okay, so let's do one of mine again. Um, okay. You all right? You got a comment?
No, I do not. Everything's pretty much resolved.
Yeah, it is resolved. And this is the other thing that I think that for me, trying to resolve the problem in times past, rather than to talk a situation out, I will hold it in, like implode, hold it in, and then basically build up a lot of anger and bitterness and resentful, and basically at a point will walk away from the relationship. When I felt like I wasn't being heard, I can't deal with it, I would just walk away. That's what I would do. But today I'm trying to not hold anything in and to really communicate, not with the mind to hurt each other or anything like that, but to honestly have a heart to heart about it and to apologize for and genuinely apologize to each other, So I want to say this because I don't think that I said this, and I'm going to say this to Joyce right now, that if I did anything to offend you that day, then I'm sorry, because it wasn't what I was trying to do. I would have never intentionally tried to do anything to offend you.
Well, communication is the key. We communicated, and everything turned out to be very beautiful.
Okay. So, all right. So, we're moving on to my next one. And that is basically like, um, I had an appointment, and Choice was giving me a ride to my appointment. And he came about an hour early. And so basically, when he called me, he let me know that he was outside. I was like, oh my God, you act just like my mom. And so I don't know if he took that like I was saying, like you a mom to me, like to say you act like you a dad to me or whatever, But it was that he didn't know it that my mom, and she was so funny, she would come, say I have an appointment at 9 o'clock. Mom would come to the house 7 o'clock, acting like it was 8:45, 8:30, 8:45, and she would be beeping all outside, and if she come in the house, she would come in fussing, you kids ain't never ready, and he didn't do that. But it just reminded me of my mom when he was an hour early. And why were you an hour early?
Well, I was an hour early because I wanted to get away from negative.
No, that's not the one. No, it was when you was excited to see me.
Well, I was very excited to see you.
That
And
was that one.
that was my main reason why I did come the hour early.
Yeah, because he wanted to see me. He was anxious about seeing me. So that's why he was coming an hour early. And that was a good thing. But I misunderstood it. You know what I mean? And so basically when I say, oh my God, you act like my mom, I'm learning him. So it's a lot of things I know. And it was, he was kind of taken back by that. But for me, I wasn't really upset, even though I said what I said. It wasn't nothing negative to me. I liked it. I'd rather for him to be early than to be late. But anyway, um, again, we talked about it, and it seemed like he had a hard time warming up to the fact that, like, I wasn't like serious or anything like that. It's just that I was shocked. I was shocked that um, that he was out there so early, a whole hour, and let me know that he was outside. It reminded me of something that my mother would do. My mother's not alive, and so, just to see that characteristics in him like that as my mom, and we would laugh about mom, how she would do that and stuff. But see, he didn't know that part, so he was just kind of taken back when I say, "Oh my God, you act like my mom." But anyway, we realize that sometimes with male and females, again, our language sometimes is different, and to me, I feel like it keeps a type of spice in the relationship. Like, you're not the same people. God knew what he was doing. And so basically, like Troy says, we were able to talk out everything and come to an understanding and basically apologize and everything to each other. And so that's it. Um, Join me next week, or join us next week, where we talk about how to make love 24 hours with each other without touching each other. So, okay, so that's all I have for you. I love you. I hope that, you will comment, share the video. Remember to subscribe yourself. Okay. So, now to him that is able to keep you from falling and to present you faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. To the only wise God, our Savior, be glory and majesty, dominion and power, both now and ever. I love you. See you in the next YouTube. You want to say bye?
Have a blessed day.
Okay. See you in the next YouTube.